No matter how good you are at prehab and training, you're always going to have some sort of asymmetry. We're designed to rotate and move left to right, so it's literally not practical or logical to think that you're going to be completely symmetrical all the time. Now I'm going to show you here in Joe what a difference in adductor strength looks like. And we will all have a difference from left to right, but I want to show you the subtleties of the difference and then how to approach training it when you need to integrate it into the gym. So I'm going to run through a couple of adductor strength tests. Very nice and strong and stable. There's a little bit of shaking in that movement and this hip is trying to get involved. I'm already starting to think there's something going on with this right side here. It's very subtle, but he's starting to move into a little hip flexion pattern versus this side. This leg actually goes into extension. It does the opposite. So it's just very interesting to note. Now, from a pressure standpoint, this right side is working very hard and this left side feels very stable. And even on this, I can feel there's a bit of pliable sort of movement on this right side. So we're gonna start to have a look at this. From a treatment standpoint, we can just get his hip flexors doing less work. We can test it by dropping his leg over the edge and we can see there's a little bit of restricted range of movement. So we know he has some hip tension, but that's his default position. That's a strong position for him. So we're not necessarily trying to make him like a yoga bunny or a loosey-goosey. We're basically just trying to get him into a position where he can get his adductor working better. When I push down on this, I can push him down. I'm working, but I can push him down. There's very little budge in that there. Like, it's very hard to push him down. So this right adductor needs some TLC. I would actually work through his rec fem, his TFL, his hip flexors, potentially his iliacus up, his deep hip flexor. Work through that a little bit, retest his hip flexion, and then I'd get some direct glute and hamstring work in, and specifically the adductor work. So we're gonna go out in the gym and have a look at what that looks like. The first step for all of this is to do some isometrics. We can actually work both sides of his adductor at a very similar time. So I'm gonna get Joe to put pressure into the ground with his knee, and that there is really starting to get his adductor fired up. So you're getting an open chain adductor movement here and you're getting a closed chain on this side. And that there, you can see that little bit of shaking, 20, 30, 40-second holds just to really get it firing up. The progression from an exercise like that is a Copenhagen plank. Now, same deal as the other one, he can roll over so that he doesn't default to that hip flex position, and then you can think about lifting up in a position that is starting to stress it more and more. So this is where training and rehab really come together. The strength that he has in that adductor now from literally 30 to 60 seconds of work is insane. He's not flexing into his hip anywhere near as much, and we test this adductor lift. When I push down, like, there is so much strength in this adductor now. So this is what we need to start to look at training and rehab is actually the same thing. Rehab is building something up from the ground and working the smaller pieces, where training is a top-down view. The synergy comes together. You should be using treatment to assess where you need to get some work that helps with your prehab and your warm-up programs, and then looking at training as a specific outcome, such as building strength and building muscle mass.